We're live on DSTV, channel 421, Go TV 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. This is Johnny's Prime with me, Carlos Caloni. Coming up, amid growing pressure for solution, Mahama administration blames the previous government for the ongoing power crisis as Energy Minister tours the WAPCO sites to assess progress on the West African gas pipeline.
Statement has been convicted by a high court.
But because of what we inherited and the poor and fragile nature of the electricity system that we inherited, today we simply have no reserve margin.
We have more on the power situation. Also, tonight, a majority in Parliament blocked MP for Equatia, Ernest Yaokumi, from making a statement in Parliament insisting a convict and someone a bench warrant has been issued against cannot be allowed to deliver a statement.
The speaker of the statement has been convicted by a high court, and he wants to come and stand in this chamber and make statements. The speaker doesn't uphold the dignity and honor of this house.
We have details from Parliament and the fierce pushback from the minority.
There is a stay of execution application, a stay of execution.
Now, in tonight's Love series, we share a romantic story of a family whose members found true love on Facebook, a testament to the growing power of digital connections in modern romance.
He's been a friend since 2019 on Facebook, but we hadn't really, had a chat before. But it was until January 2020 that I posted a movie on Facebook, and she wanted to watch it, but she didn't have access.
Now let's begin from the power sector, because low voltage and frequent power outages are causing many Ghanaians to doubt the Mahama-led administration's assurances that the threat of doomsday is over. On January 7 this year, as President John Dramani Mahama took the oath of office, his now Energy Minister John Jinapor warned that the country could face a power crisis due to the previous administration's failure to secure the necessary fuel supplies, leaving the incoming government in a vulnerable position. Although relative stability was later restored after the government formed a committee, including industry players, to prevent an imminent power crisis, today the reality is different. Many Ghanaians are growing frustrated over persistent power interruptions. And Nana Boachi Yadon spoke with traders who are struggling with the rising cost of running generators amid the erratic power supply.
The Ashanti region is particularly hard hit by the recent power outages. The thriving streets of Kumasi, the regional capital, are now filled with a cacophony of generators, a stark reminder of the region's power woes.
For the past few weeks, major parts of the Ashanti region have been experiencing consistent or intermittent power cuts. And in the central business district, which is most affected, the traders have been forced to return to the use of generators. Today we took to the streets of the CBD to engage with traders who say that the return of these generators is a clear indication of doomsday.
I have bought one generator and I have to get another one for my workplace. Times are hard.
You have last week, this week at Wason.
I believe this is the return of doomsday because the use of generators are on the rise. They should just give us a timetable, and that is better. At the CBD, the frequent power cuts have disrupted production, leading to losses for businesses and affecting the livelihoods of thousands of people. The power outages have also taken a toll on residents who are forced to endure the heat. Dumso has returned, but I believe John Mahama can solve it. The rising cost of fuel has made it challenging for people to afford the expenses of running these generators. ECG PRO for Ashanti West, Benjamin Enchi, says measures have been put in place to avert the outages.
I want to assure them that we are working assiduously to fix their problem, but we also need their help. So as we speak, yes, we intend to restore power to our cherished customers within the Doom businesses before close of day today.
He, however, complained about the consistent theft on ECG's electrical installations.
The stolen equipment have affected the 500 kVA transformer, and in view of that, we were unable to supply power supply to our cherished customers. What we are doing as a company is we are trying to put measures in place and rectify the issue to restore power supply to our cherished customers.
The Ashanti region is not the only part of the country affected by the power outages. However, the situation is particularly dire due to the region's high demand for power. For Joy News, Nana Bwachidamkweyadom, Kumasi.
That's the situation in the Ashanti region. Let's come to Accra and see what consumers feel about the situation.
Okay, so I don't think it is. It follows a particular pattern. If it starts following a pattern, then we know Dumso is back. But so far, I don't think it's following any particular pattern.
It's very difficult to be in the darkness, but I think it's normal. It has been for it has been like that for some months now, even before the current government came to power.
Okay, they say it's a fault because where I stay, 2 days no light. Okay, when we ask the ECG, say there's a fault, so we are waiting for them to fix it for us.
Okay, for now, the minister was just appointed, and from the news they are working on it. Today he visited the site, the West African gas pipeline, and they are working on it. We should just give him some time. I'm sure everything will be perfect.
Meanwhile, at a press briefing earlier today after touring the West African Gas Pipeline Company station in Tama, Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, insisted that the recent power outages and debt arrears were inherited by the NDC from the previous administration. He, however, assured consumers that efforts are underway to resolve the ongoing power crisis and urged the public to remain patient.
Following the recent power outages being experienced in some parts of the country, the Minister for Energy and Green Transitions, Honorable John Jinapor, has visited the West African Gas Pipeline Station in Tema. This follows its planned maintenance shutdown. The Minister has reassured Ghanaians that plans are far advanced in addressing the power situation being experienced in the country.
We are producing just enough to supply the demand. But because we have no reserves, even if one plant develops a slight problem, it leads to a challenge. But the engineers are able to move quickly to resolve it. And so you realize that even when we have a slight challenge, within a couple of hours, it is restored. But if we had the reserve, if we had a backup, when one plant goes down, another plant quickly takes over. But because of what we inherited and the poor and fragile nature of the electricity system that we inherited, today we simply have no reserve margin, not even 1 megawatt of reserve margin.
The Minister further debunked claims that the government intends to sell the Electricity Company of Ghana. He further assures that plans are far advanced in addressing the financial challenges being experienced in the sector.
And let me make it clear that government has no intention of selling the Electricity Company of Ghana. What we rather want to do is to involve the private sector, especially in the billing, in the collection, and the management of some aspects of the network. The shares of ECG will remain intact, no share will be diluted, and we have no intention of selling ECG.
Meanwhile, managers of the facility have been reassuring the minister of the progress being made in the maintenance of the pipelines.
Within WAPCO, for us, the most important of all is asset integrity, to make sure that we know the condition of the pipeline at any time so that we can flow gas safely efficiently and reliably. The onshore pigging has been conducted and completed in December. The offshore bit is what we are doing now. We started on the 5th of February. The laterals on 5th of February, it was merely isolating Takrady, which is going to be receiving the pig. And then the laterals were closed on the 7th of February. That is when we launched the first pigs. Some data will be analyzed from that, so data will be sent to, I believe, is Brazil. Some data analysis will be done to and come back to us before we do the launching of the final pig to collect additional data. So, like we did at the beginning, we still projected that we are on course to be finishing by the 2nd of March.
Reporting from the West African gas pipeline station here in Tema, I am Stephen Mensah.
Well, away from the power crisis, let's now take you to Parliament because convicted member of Parliament for Ekwetia constituency, Ernest Yaokumi, has been blocked from making a statement on the floor of the House. The NDC insists the man who has been found guilty by a court for contempt of court and a person whom a bench warrant has been issued against must not be allowed to make a statement on the floor of the House. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante reports.
Ernest Yaokumi, MP for Ekwetia, who has been convicted for contempt of court and a bench warrant issued for his arrest, attempted to make a statement on the floor. This is something the NDC side will not allow. Majority Leader Mahama himself getting up on his feet to oppose any attempt to deliver a statement, insisting that given that a member of Parliament has been convicted and a bench warrant issued against him, it will be an affront to the court for Parliament to watch on for this MP to conduct himself as a normal member of Parliament.
The maker of the statement has been convicted by a High Court. Convicted by a High Court. I have read it in the papers. I have read it on social media. And he wants to come and stand in this chamber and make statements so that this House will be telling the courts that it doesn't matter what you do. Mr. Speaker, it doesn't uphold the dignity and honor of this House.
Very respectfully, Mr. Speaker, Parliament does not dabble in ake. Yes, say, yes, say. Parliament does not dabble in ake. Yes, say, yes, say. Mr. Speaker, unless there is notice, very respectfully, what has been brought before you, Mr. Speaker, would seem to be ake. Yes, say, yes, say.
At some point, the minority leader himself walked in and insisted that there is nothing in law that should stop the Member of Parliament from going ahead to make this statement.
There is a stay of execution application, a stay of execution. Meanwhile, Mr. Speaker, let me also inform this House that prior to the High Court coming up with that decision, the High Court was again seized with the application invoking the supervisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court on its conduct.
Majority Chief Whip Roxanne Nelson Dafameko continued to back the point that had been made earlier by his leader that Ernest Yaokumi should not be allowed to make a statement.
This House, the information before this House is that the honorable member for Ekwetia has been convicted. And he's become a fugitive of justice. An arrest warrant has been issued, properly issued, for his arrest. That this House cannot gloss over the issuance of an arrest warrant for him and still permit him to have locus.
This led to tempests flaring on both sides, with MPs getting up on their feet, some of them banging their tables on both sides. Ultimately, the second deputy speaker who was presiding had to adjourn proceedings abruptly.
Yes, you cannot tolerate.
If you wouldn't allow me, I will go ahead, suspend the House, and
you will not adjourn the
Mr. Speaker, they want an adjournment. We will argue the case today. We will argue no adjournment. Mr. Speaker, we will argue. Let us argue the issues with adjournment.
Honorable members.
You are running away. You brought your application, you are running away.
Honorable
You
members,
brought your application, you are running away.
the time is 5 to 4 o'clock. You are in my hands. The House is accordingly adjourned.
This controversy is going to linger on. The conviction is still standing. The bench warrant has not been set aside, and a member of parliament is being sought after by the court for ultimately sentencing. As to whether or not the Parliament of Ghana will allow him to continue to act as a normal member of parliament is something we'll see in the coming days. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Kweku Asante from Parliament House, Accra.
Let's stay a bit longer in Parliament because MP for Asin North, James Jachi-Kwesen, is pushing for an expedited process to amend the Constitution to allow dual citizens hold certain public offices. Under the current dispensation, dual citizens cannot become MPs or ministers, among other such offices. In the last Parliament, though, a bill to amend the Constitution passed the second reading stage but was not passed before the life of the House expired. Making a statement on the Black History Month, Jachi-Kwesen, who was prosecuted for allegedly getting elected as the MP or an MP while dual citizen, insisted that time is due for a change in that law.
Mr. Speaker, Black History Month allows us to reflect on the perseverance of our people throughout history, slavery, institutional racism, and the ongoing fight for equality. Africa, despite being rich in natural resources, remains paradoxically underdeveloped due to centuries of exploitation, colonization, and unfair global systems. I stand here not as a victim of political challenges, but as a testament to the resilience of every Ghanaian who believes in the power of democracy and justice. Mr. Speaker, the fight against dual citizenship, restrictions on political ambition is not a personal battle, but a national conversation. Our Constitution, while a beacon of democracy, must evolve to reflect the global realities of our people. How do we marginalize those who have sought better opportunities abroad, yet remain deeply connected to Ghana? How do we exclude them from leadership when their hearts, skills, and resources are dedicated to building our nation? Mr. Speaker, it is important that we expedite action on this passage of the Dual Citizenship Amendment Bill.
I believe that there's also a gamut of other duties we have to examine. One of them that I'm also passionate about is the question of taxation, so that if you're a dual citizen and you're entitled to be a member of parliament, you're entitled to be a chief justice, and you are earning your income from, say, the United Kingdom, the Ghanaian tax regime should be able to catch up with you as well. Look at how our democracies, very weak democracies, sometimes even fake democracies, because every time people are looking for opportunities to cheat just to get to power. And so I think African leaders will have to do a true reflection. And as we do this true reflection, one of the things we also have to understand is that the aid dependency of African leaders and African countries, we must move from that and develop local and indigenous solutions for African problems. If we're able to do this, then the Black History Month will make a lot of meaning to all of us as Africans. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Let's now take you to the presidency and focus on galamsey, because President John Dramani Mahama has instructed a team tackling illegal mining galamsey to seize excavators instead of burning them. Speaking after members of the Christian Council visited him at the Jubilee House, he said illegal miners have been flushed out from the Tano Nimri forest, which the operation targeting at the affected forest reserve. He added that a mobile team is on standby to ensure the illegal miners do not return to the forest.
Show Ghanaians what the real state of the nation is. And I believe that we must bring honesty in leadership and tell Ghanaians what the real situation is. I think that if Ghanaians understand what the situation is, they are willing to make the sacrifices to make things better for everybody. With regards to the issues you raised, galamsey is a major headache for all of us. It's estimated that currently about 1.8 million of our compatriots are involved in small-scale mining. And that creates a big issue with regards to issues of employment and displacement, you know, from small-scale mining. Small-scale mining is legal, and our laws recognize it, but it must be done in a responsible and sustainable manner. We have about 280 forest reserves in this country, and the ones that are affected are about 43. And so we did one operation in the Tano-Nimiri forest reserves, and we've gotten the excavators and things out. And so they're going to target another one, the worst ones, and then we'll take them one by one and get the people out. I've told them not to burn the excavators, they should confiscate them. We'll also have a mobile team so that in case they try to incurse again and the forestry people cannot handle, they'll call the mobile team to run in and go and give them reinforcement.
Let's now shift our attention to education, because Academic City University College has challenged its newly admitted students to take full advantage of the STEM opportunities available at the institution to excel in their respective fields. At today's matriculation ceremony in Accra, the university reaffirmed its commitment to bridging the skills gap between graduates and the job market, equipping students with the expertise needed for success. Elsie Asiedu has more in the following report.
Reputed for leading excellence in innovation and technology, the Academic City University College challenged the newly matriculated students to take advantage of the STEAM entrepreneurship opportunities at their disposal to help them excel in their chosen fields and prepare for the job market. Speaking at the 8th matriculation ceremony in Accra, President and Provost of the university, Professor Fred Magbagonluri, said they have adopted an approach of shifting from theoretically based learning to a more practical and innovative method for educational development.
Our educational system, the way it was always set up, was to deliver knowledge and allow the kids to go out there and figure it out. What we've been doing here for the last 7 years is to say that you can't leave entrepreneurship by itself. You know, you have to educate within the confines of entrepreneurship so that the students can see opportunities in every course they are taking, opportunities in every project that they are working on. So I am quite confident that we are well positioned, and when we actually say we want to develop future-ready leaders, that's what we mean.
Professor Magbagonluri pledged his commitment to bridge the skills gap that many students face by facilitating internship with international key partners. He promised to leave no space for limitations when it comes to tackling real-world challenges.
We have a group of companies where our students get to do internship. We have Millersville University, we have Northern Kentucky University as well. So we encourage all our students to do at least 4 sets of internships before they graduate, with only 1 being mandatory.
Some students and parents also spoke to Joy News on why they chose the Academic City University College for tertiary education.
I expect to gain more skills, and then to gain more skills to enter into the business world, as I'm studying BA in accounting. So I'm expecting that there's more opportunities, job opportunities, skills, and then internships out there for me to embark on and solve real life problems, most especially. Yeah.
I look forward to so much from here. I'm looking at the point where when he leaves this place and gets into the larger society and starts doing his own thing, there'll always be that reference that whatever it is that he has become will be traced to Academic City here in Ghana. So that's the kind of testimony I want to hear from the school. That's what I look forward to.
Academic City is poised to make a significant contribution to the education sector in Ghana and beyond through its dedication to excellence and focus on developing innovative leaders.
Well, here at Joy News, a delegation from the University for Professional Studies, Accra, has paid a courtesy call on the management of the Multimedia Group Limited. The delegation was received by the Chief Operating Officer of the Multimedia Group, Mr. Ken Ansah, on behalf of the group. There's more in the following report by Mamavi Sefakote.
The objective of the meeting was to establish partnership between the university and the multimedia group. The team from UPSA was led by the Pro-Vice Chancellor. Receiving the delegation, Chief Operating Officer of the multimedia group, Ken Ansah, commended UPSA for recognizing the significance of the relationship and taking the initiative to formally establishing it. He assured the commitment of the MGL team to the partnership. To show their appreciation and as a symbol of their commitment, the UPSA delegation presented some gifts to the multimedia management.
Yeah, right, great.
The story will come.
Well, away from that, illicit drug use in Ghana has surged significantly over the decades, driven by factors such as unemployment, economic hardship, easy access, and peer pressure. Despite the country's strict drug policies, illegal substances remain widely available. A study conducted by Peter Amadou and his colleagues from the Department of Mental Health at the University for Development Studies, UDS, reveals that 58.4% of youth aged 12 to 18 in the northern region have used drugs at least once. In this report, we meet 20-year-old Abdul Waris, once a vibrant young breadwinner for his family, whose life took a devastating turn due to drug addiction. His story reflects the struggles of thousands of young people across the northern part of this country who are battling substance abuse.
I'm a fella to Shaku Valley. The Kong weekland, you can't be Cora. I could talk to Tumba, hey young, I'm a fella to you. She could disturb.
In this city, various camps where drug addicts seek solace are fast emerging. We gain access to these camps inside Abuabo Forest. Most of the users say joblessness pushed them into drugs. The drug menace compels citizen action. At this forum, organized in Tamale in August 2024, a traditional ruler of the Dagbon community in North America, Na Basha Ibrahim Idrisu, engages stakeholders on how to address the menace.
We actually have a serious crisis in Dagbon. And this goes to all politicians. It doesn't matter which political party you are. It is high time, even if government is supposed to declare that as a national or as a regional crisis, they have to seriously. We are in a serious problem. And if we don't take time, for the next 5 years, the thing will be uncontrollable.
Ghettos, just like the forest, have become hubs for drug users. Today, the chief is engaging addicts in this ghetto at Lamashegu. One of the substance users is Barikesu, a secondary school dropout now doing drugs. Their Mana had a revealing dialogue with her.
How did you end up here? Because Marakana Konya Pa.
Gaisia, Ukunajia.
In Nirvalanya.
1,000.
1,000? Really? Barki sumba 10,000.
Gaisia.
Maybe 5,000. Am I about 1,000?
No, chief. She's really Shapshaba.
Shapchime.
So, one to Mana Parana.
Mulachi.
French Shaba.
Bayule. Yelma, don't worry, Yelma. A friend Banama. Eh? Radia Chia. Zakia Chia. Muna Chia.
Oh,
calma. Calma, Kubane. Shabu your falan one. Wow, Fondankabi.
Base
Sanarugo Yildene.
Mother yielding.
Kupalma, Sanarugo Yildene.
Be me Yilma, because come father's side, come father. You come, mother.
So I'm very young.
I'm jealous. But sometimes can just sensitive.
I'm a boyfriend. Yapolokobi. Or she like you?
Be on a car round.
On a car round. So I'm in Biara.
Well, a very disturbing story there. You're still watching Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Caloni. We'll take a short break. Please stay. Welcome back, and thank you for so much for staying with us. Let's talk love, because not everyone believes love can begin with on Facebook. But for Abishag and Hezron, that's exactly where their love story started. Surprisingly, Abishag wasn't the first in a family to find love online. Her elder sister also met her husband the same way. A social media love story may not be common here in Ghana, but for this family, it's almost a norm. Emmanuel Givano has more in our love series.
For Abishag and Hezron, that place was Facebook. A simple chat over a movie that would unfold into a journey neither of them saw coming.
We met on Facebook, social media. Facebook, I think she's been a friend since 2019 on Facebook, but we hadn't really, had a chat before. It was until January 2020.
Both had recently suffered heartbreak, and in their shared pain, they found solace.
He had liked this girl for long, but this girl didn't want to give in to his proposal. And now she says she's in the US, and before he realized she's gotten married to somebody else. Yes, so we were actually discussing that issue, and he was like, he's heartbroken, he doesn't know what to do. And I was comforting him with it, that it doesn't matter if she's married, it's okay. You can also move on with your life. And said, okay, you try. I was also telling him about a guy I think I liked. But
the
he was also not making, ghosting me here and there, and in the end, he was like, he's just a normal person. He's not interested in any relationship and all that. So he also was like, let's comfort each other since we are in the same soup.
Then came the big moment, their first meeting. After months of virtual connection, they decided it was time.
Before I bought it, I was like, Madam, my house is not flashy. So when you see that, don't run, that's for comfort. So I was afraid to run, like what I could do.
They are very close together, so they don't hide anything. Yes, so. And when I came, everybody came to welcome me.
But here's the twist. Abishag's love story wasn't the first of its kind in her family. Her elder sister had also met her husband online.
For her, it was a big risk because they did their wedding plans through video calls because the guy was not in Ghana. So everything was done through video calls. So finally, when they met was when the guy had permission from his work in abroad to come and get married. So
that was the first day.
So we had finished dressing her, waiting. The pastor is waiting. My dad was waiting. Where is the guy? We called this guy. He said, oh, he's on his way coming with his parents, so we should relax. For like 20 minutes, my sister was now feeling the heat because she was getting scared. And I told her to relax. So far as the guy sent money for you to do the engagement, sew your dress, buy the stuff, he will come. I'm sure he's in traffic or something. The pressure my dad was giving it was so serious. And God being so good, finally the guy came. So they met face to face when he actually came for the marriage.
Wow.
Yes. So I asked her, wasn't she scared? And she said, oh, they were doing video calls, so she saw his face, so she was okay. And I said, wow.
Today, Abishak and Hezron have built a life together. A love that started in cyberspace, but became something real, something lasting.
Some people it has been a curse, others has been a blessing, but for us it's been good.
A simple chat, a shared experience, a bond that grew. Love knows no boundaries. It finds a way no matter where or how it begins. Sometimes all it takes is a simple message to change everything. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Accra.
Oh, what a beautiful Facebook laugh. So beautiful. Well, moving on. The Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Authority, Professor Nanama Brown-Cloche, has called for urgent sea defense measures to protect residents of Agaveji, Salakope, and Amotino from relentless tidal wave destructions. Now, a recent disaster has left dozens homeless, ravaged sacred shrines, and shattered tombs. Assessing the extent of the devastation firsthand, Professor Cloche stressed the need for a permanent solution to safeguard lives, livelihoods, and property. There's more in the following report. Residents of Salakope, Agaveji, and Amotino have long suffered from relentless tidal waves destructions. This week's disaster among the worst yet destroyed hundreds of homes, left scores homeless, and swept through cemeteries, exposing remains and toppling sacred shrines. Chief Fisherman of Salakope Landing Beach, Togbe Emmanuel Anum Tete, lamented not only the damage to homes, but also the severe impact on economic activities.
The sea is destroying all our houses. Secondly, due to the destroyal of the houses, we have the debris in the sea. The broken houses are in the sea. That could not enable us to go to sea anymore. We can't fish anymore. Because as soon as you send your net there, it will be entangled by the debris. It will tear in pieces. You have to go and borrow money to amend it. It continues day in and day out. Provided you come in the evening, you will see a lot of us sleeping along the street there. And some of us are sleeping in the church over there. Because we don't have any place to sleep, you see. And you know, the death toll in the community now is increasing very, very well because of starvation. Now you can see some of Salakope people in Kita, some are in Aflau, some in Agbozume. They scatter all along.
Volta Regional Minister James Gunu, who was part of a delegation led by the Chief Executive of the Environmental Protection Authority, has directed utility services to take immediate action to assist the affected communities.
Even electricity is affected, you know, so if these poles are cut off now, Denu will be affected. You know, they will not have electricity. Keta side here, they will not have electricity. So the electricity company of Ghana must also come in to do the assessment. Community water and sanitation, there is a cut-off. They don't have water. So the last time we brought sachet water to the community. It's not enough. They need shelter, temporary shelter. They need a psychologist. They need a medical care, you know. So this is the time we need to show our love to the people of Agaveji, Asalakope, and Amuchinu.
After touring and engaging residents, EPA CEO Professor Ama Brancluche emphasized the need for a permanent and sustainable solution to the challenge.
What we think we have to do is provide a lasting solution by providing a more sustainable sea defense for the communities. We need to reclaim the land and provide the defense for the sea so that we can get back the land and get back the livelihood of the people.
Donating some relief items to victims, Professor Kluchi appealed to development partners to support in reclamation efforts.
Immediately, we're calling on our development partners, we're calling on government, and EPA will make sure we coordinate it, and as early as possible, as a matter of urgency, we come back here to do the dredging and then making sure that we do the defense as soon as possible. We're going to work at it.
Residents are, however, looking to the government for a lasting solution to the crisis. For Joy News, Carlos Caloni, Salakope. Well, it's a Friday edition of the Showbiz, and Becky Bex is here.
I've seen your solid reportage.
Oh,
I love it. I love the voice and, you know, everything. And the story about, you know, the Facebook, the couple that met on Facebook.
Beautiful story.
I'm hoping I'm on Facebook. Becky GH, follow me, please.
All right. We'll follow you.
Okay. Now, the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts has bemoaned the teaching of non-Ga languages in Accra schools, saying it is a disservice to the Ga language. She says stakeholders must encourage the preservation of vanishing languages and support language education rather than imposing other languages.
We are not promoting our languages enough, neither are we promoting and preserving our biodiversity as well. Much work to be done. We must continue to promote linguistic diversity, preserve endangered languages, and support language education, not the kind that we have right now, where in most schools, all children, even on the Garland, are made to speak only a particular language, and that is what is being taught. It's a disservice to the distinguished language of the people in Ghana.
We celebrate International Mother Tongue Day. What's your mother tongue?
Ever.
Yeah. Ta midakbe now. We'll wrap up the bulletin with the Ever.
Sure.
So right after, you know, I take this one, the sad one coming, celebrated actor Mauli Semevo has died. Now, multiple award-winning Ghanaian rapper and entrepreneur D Black makes waves with the release of his latest single, Amazing Grace. This powerful and uplifting track features a high-life legend, Kwabena, and renowned gospel musician Joyce Blessings, marking the first official single of his highly anticipated album, The Ghanaian Visa. Amazing Grace is a heartfelt blend of hip-hop, Afrobeat, highlife, and gospel, reflecting D Black's journey of resilience, faith, and gratitude to the Maker. Praise the Lord. So this is from Dr. Barnett Kweku. It's Kweku of Ghana Cocoa Marketing Company.
Right.
He told me to give you this.
Oh, really?
Because the other time, which was last week, Valentine's Day, I couldn't give you a proper present.
Oh.
He saw it, and he said, Bex, Carlos deserves
a chocolate.
A chocolate.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm giving this to you from Dr. Barnett Kweku Dr. Barnett. We call him Dr. Barnett.
Yeah,
we're so grateful.
So much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is truly Ghanaian.
This is truly Ghanaian.
This is Ghanaian.
So in the spirit of celebrating Ghanaianness, because next month we're celebrating Ghana month and all of that. This is just right in place for you.
Thank you.
And there's a birthday girl, you know, doing the prompting today, Esther.
Yeah.
You need to give Esther some of that.
Sure. I'll give her half of this.
You will?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Okay.
Esther is a hard-working lady, you know.
And we appreciate Esther right here. Also, I like to appreciate my stylist. She is styled actually by Elom, and this is so beautiful. You know, so beautiful. Yeah. I need you to look out for her on all social media platforms. Styled by Elom.
So tomorrow,
tomorrow we have news file as well. My colleague.
Samson.
My learned colleague, Samson Ladi. We love you, Samson. He'll be hosting all these beautiful people. They are all beautiful. And the topic will be mass sacking, messed economy, MP in contempt, 44 Galamsey Forest Reserves, which has a question mark. That will be discussed tomorrow. And we have Rodalyn Imoru Ayana. She's a public and Dr. Theo Achampong is also on the bill. It's like they're performing tomorrow. Mr. Kingsley Amwakubwedu and Sampi Yali. They'll all be joining my very good friends. 9 a.m. till 12 noon. Also, don't forget that E-Vice is still showing. The story of Dark Suburb is still showing next weekend. However, I'll be bringing you another edition of the E-Vibes musical band series. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. Myself and Carlos, we will. Oh, should I hold it for you? Okay, hold it. It's for you. It's for you.
Right. So, Prime Business is up next.
We'll give Pios as well. And everybody's taking home.
Great. Thank you so much for watching.